Thank you for joining us for College Commons Week as we explore the next steps in the college admissions process. My name is Janine Coutu and I'm with the College Foundation of West Virginia. We are extremely excited to host our second annual College Commons Week event, an opportunity that allows us to work together with college campuses to help students navigate the college-going process. This afternoon, we are pleased to announce that representatives from Concord University have joined us for this webinar series. Joining us from Concord University is the Associate Director for Admissions, Alan Smith, and Admissions Counselor, Maisie Landreth. Thank you for joining CFWV for this new statewide initiative. Through this initiative, we aim to help West Virginia students and families prepare for and transition to college. As I get ready to turn the presentation over to our presenters, I would ask that you use the chat box to ask any questions you may have throughout our time together this afternoon. Staff will address those questions and ensure that they are answered before we conclude today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available on cfwv.com later this week. With that said, Alan and Maisie, welcome. And now I turn this webinar over to you.
Great, wonderful, Janine. Once again, I'm Alan Smith. I'm Associate Director of Admissions. I'm also a Concord University graduate. And Maisie Landreth, who's also joining me, she's an admissions counselor. She is also a Concord University graduate as well. So anyway, I do have a brief presentation on the university. And for those of you who may be a senior, maybe you've been admitted, or maybe you want to know how to be admitted, or you just need to know about the next steps in the process, I can definitely go over those things for you. All right, there we go. All right, so Concord was founded in 1872. We are a public liberal arts university. The very first program that we offered was teacher education. That continues to be our most popular program of study. Over 60 majors, minors, and programs of study have been added since then. We do have 4 graduate programs, and they are all online, and we could have more in the next few years. And we also, one of our strengths as a university is that, we offer a lot of financial aid to our students. We're located about 30 minutes below Beckley, right off of Interstate 77. So we're very close to the interstate, very easily accessible, very easy drive. And we are in a rural kind of setting, but we are very close to towns that have your shopping places and your major eating places and things like that. So to apply to Concord, or the admissions requirements, as I should say, the minimum GPA, normally speaking, is a 2.0 and a 950 on the SAT, or an 18 on the ACT. We are test optional, so we do not prefer one test over the other. But for this fall, we are test optional because we know a lot of students may not have had the opportunity to take the ACT or SAT. So if you're not submitting test scores, that means that we look for a 3.0 GPA, cumulative GPA from your freshman and senior year. If you have a 3.0 without test scores, we can admit you, or if you have a 2.5 within your core classes, we can admit you that way without test scores. But we encourage students as much as possible, still take the test, submit those test scores to us, because many times it might be able to help you out with scholarships, which we will talk about a little bit later on. There is no application fee, by the way, to Concord, and all you have to do is go to concord.edu to apply, concord.edu/apply, and you can apply in a matter of maybe 5 minutes. So the average class size at Concord is roughly about 13. And that gives you an opportunity to build some personal relationships with our faculty, which is definitely one of the hallmarks of the university. Over 73% hold the highest degree in their field, over 110 full-time. Many of them are going to leave their home number and or their cell number on the syllabus. So they're very, very easy to contact, very easily accessible. And I can tell you from personal experience, and I'm sure Maisie would say the same, if you ever need help in a class or you need to know what to focus on for a midterm or a final, just go to them, approach them, go to their office, call them up, text them, whatever you need to do, and say, hey, can we meet? A 5-minute meeting with a faculty member can save your grade, save your assignment, and that definitely pays out for you in the end. All the classes at Concord are taught by professors, so we don't have graduate assistants that teach courses at Concord. We feel like the professor with a terminal degree in their field is a little bit more qualified to teach you than someone who just graduated from their 4-year undergraduate program. So once again, personal relationships, as I always say, life is all about relationships, and you get to build those relationships early on here at Concord. They're not just involved with academics, so they might have a study session at their house or a cookout at the end of the year. I personally came out of retirement a year ago and played some intramural basketball, which my body quickly reminded me that I'm not in basketball shape, but it was still fun nonetheless. We had other students and faculty and staff all mixed in the same league, men and women. So it was a great way to build some more relationships with students and other people across campus that you might not normally cross paths with. And that's just the type of community that we have at Concord overall. Now, if you're into performing arts, we do have several different options for you. If you don't want to major in music, but you want to be in the marching band, hey, you can do that at Concord, get class credit for that, or you can have your own radio show without majoring in communications, and then you're still getting class credit. So we offer you those opportunities to continue your hobbies and extracurricular activities, so to speak, while still getting class credit at the same time. And you never know, you might say, hey, I really like this. I want to change my major or get a minor or a double major. Student activities is something I can't stress enough how important it is to get involved on campus. We have over 60 student-led clubs and organizations, so this is certainly not a comprehensive list, but if you're in the community service, if you're in the political organizations or politics overall, faith-based organizations, Greek life, you name it, we probably have the club for you. But if we don't have a club that you're looking for, our environment is very conducive to initiating your own club or organization, and we heavily encourage you to do so. Most of our students are members of more than one organization, and those are things that help build social skills as well as grow your resume. Now, outdoor recreation, if any of you are from Southern West Virginia, hey, you're no stranger to this. There are several things within arm's reach of Concord University in terms of outdoor recreation. You can be on the slopes at Winter Place, which is a small ski resort. You can probably be on the slopes in like 25 minutes from campus, and many of our students do work there. Many of our students also may take some time to go out to Pipestem State Park. Our home golf course is there. Horseback riding, mountain biking, hiking, climbing. There are several things we offer at Pipestem for a discount for students, and one day a week it's also free for Concord students. But there, like I said, there are several things. Glade Springs, that's probably 25 minutes from campus as well. That's one of our golf courses as well. So if you're in the outdoor recreation, hey, we even have a club for it. Our chief of police is the staff sponsor, and he'll take trips with students to do several different various outdoor recreational activities. We're NCAA Division II with our athletics programs here at Concord. We have 16 sports counting indoor and outdoor track. If you're interested in playing a sport, definitely get in touch with your respective coach. Get that conversation going. We can offer scholarships. We also have students who are walk-on or invited walk-on students. So the athletics does a great job of promoting academics first and athletics second. And there's some requirements they have for incoming student athletes. For those of you who might be into gaming, we actually have an esports program at Concord. They're off to a wonderful start. This past year, they finished first in the nation. Our Call of Duty team finished first in the nation. And the year before, we had finished second. So they've been strong here the past couple of years. We have Call of Duty, League of Legends, and Overwatch, and we're also adding Valorant. So once again, if you're interested in playing, we offer scholarships for esports. Our coach is Austin Clay, and he would be more than happy to talk to you about that program. Now, community service is very important to us. We do not require it of our students, but we do heavily encourage it. We do have a Bonner Scholarship program. We are the only public school in the whole nation that has the Bonner Scholarship. It's valued at $3,000, and those students do about 140 hours a semester of community service. There is a separate application for the Bonner Scholarship that you have to complete. And even though the deadline is passed for the 2021/22 year, you can still apply because some students are still being awarded and they have some spots left. So don't let that deter you from applying. And there's no prerequisite number of hours that you have to have coming out of high school to be part of the Bonner Scholarship Program. And you just will need a couple letters of reference, or a few references, I should say, to list. And Maisie, actually, who was with me on this chat, she was a Bonner Scholar here at Concord, and she had a great time, and it definitely enhanced her college experience. But even if you're not a Bonner Scholar, there are several opportunities to be involved with community service. Now, we have approximately roughly 700 students that reside on campus, 5 residence halls. The bottom picture is a picture of our North and South Towers residence halls, which were just renovated a few years ago. If you come for a tour of campus, we can take you in there. We have rooms designated just for our office for you to see, and in both halls, but completely new carpet, sinks, toilets, showers, everything in those residence halls are new, except for pretty much probably the furniture, which was about 8 to 10 years old at the time. So if you come for a tour, like I said, we'll show you around in there. Wilson Hall, which is on top, is our more traditional style hall. It's a co-ed hall, co-ed by floor. And we also have a room in there that you can see. You can bring a car as a freshman. We only charge you $25 a semester to park your car. So we do allow you to bring that car. That's totally fine. Your high schools may charge you a little bit less than that, or excuse me, a little bit more than that. So a lot of times they are, and you're already saving some money. And we do, parking is not a problem here at Concord as well. Our dining services are headed off by a company called Airmark, and it's all you can eat in the cafeteria. I have never left the cafeteria hungry. It was very attractive to me when I was an 18-year-old male. Actually, still pretty attractive to me. But if they're not fixing what you want that day, which I can always make the cafeteria work. But if you just want a variety or something different, we have a mini Starbucks. If you need that caffeine kick for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you like Subway, Wingspan is kind of like our version of Buffalo Wild Wings. So there's several different opportunities to get whatever type of eating options that you like in any particular given moment. If you come for a tour of campus, we'll take you in the cafeteria on the day that they're open, and we will actually take care of lunch for you if you wish to dine in there. So we have public safety on our campus. That is our chief of police there, Mark Stella, who's been with Concord close to 30 years. They have video surveillance of public areas, tamper-proof locks in residence halls. They have the guns, the badges, the tasers, the whole nine. They're a good group of guys. They do have arresting powers. I have personally never field tested their arresting powers, but I have field tested their parking ticket writing skills. So, hey, be sure you park where you're supposed to park. But they are state police trained. They are on duty every day of the year, even Christmas and Thanksgiving, to make sure the campus is safe. They practice community-oriented policing. So basically, they're more like your resource as opposed to your big brother always looking over your shoulder. And you'll see them in the cafeteria eating lunch with you, in the gym shooting hoops with you. They immerse themselves in the community, and that's what I really, really do like about these guys. They get to know you on a first name basis, on a personal level, and that's a very cool thing about a place like Concord. There are also some security guards that supplement our police force, but our police force, their full-time job and first priority is Concord University. Financial aid is very, very important. I think that goes without saying, and you probably have heard it preached to you time and time and time again to file the FAFSA. So I'm going to take the opportunity to once again put a plug in that. Definitely do the FAFSA. You do need to do this every year that you're in college. Okay, so it's very important, and especially if you're qualifying for any West Virginia grant aid, that it's very important also that you file the FAFSA. I do believe they actually extended the deadline for the West Virginia Higher Education Grant to have the FAFSA completed by. So if you haven't done that, get that filled out. You never know what you could qualify for. It never locks you into anything. It just lets you know what you qualify for. And then you have the option to decline or accept after that. Speaking of costs, this is what it costs at Concord for this particular academic year. That's tuition, room, and board. Of course, the room and board charges include your meal plan, you staying on campus, all your utilities. And so as you're going across the state of West Virginia, if you're looking at your public schools, they are roughly right around that mark there. Now, So you're wondering, how do I pay for this? Well, one, for those of you who may be underclassmen, definitely continue to keep your grades up. It's very, very important that you do that because most colleges look at your cumulative GPA. So the higher your score and the higher your GPA, the more money that you do qualify for. This year, for students who have a 3.0 GPA and did not have an opportunity to take the SAT or the ACT, we are awarding them our base level tier of scholarships. For those who could take the SAT or ACT, the minimum score is a 960 or an 18. Once again, we'll look at either test, and then that's puts you into the next category or the next tier of scholarships. And they are awarded from your admissions application. So definitely turn in your admissions application and we can evaluate you from there. We talked about Bonner a little bit earlier on. Also, something that you may have seen in the news or on social media is our CU free scholarship. The way to qualify for that, of course, all those bullets are listed there. 3.0 GPA, West Virginia resident. And if you qualify for the West Virginia Higher Education Grant and the Pell Grant, and file your FAFSA by April 15th. So that deadline is certainly passed. But if you met all those requirements, if there is a gap left in your tuition, in the tuition portion of your bill, Concord will actually take care of that gap. So if you meet those requirements, be looking for that CU free scholarship to appear on your financial aid award letter. Now, what we will do, we will apply all of your free money first. So free money basically counts as any outside scholarships, any scholarships from Concord, and any grants, any money that you don't have to pay back. We make sure that's applied first. And then if there's a gap, Concord will take care of it. We also have some other scholarship opportunities, our alumni association, as well as our foundation. Those entities do have applications on our website, so don't leave any stone unturned. Go after scholarships in your community. Coca-Cola, the Lions Club, Ruritan's Club, Little General Store, $50 or $5,000, that all helps. Also, for those of you who are seniors and maybe you've applied, there's a couple things you need to do. This is an example of your application portal. If you don't know how to log into it, definitely let us know. We can help you with that. Send us an email. We'll make sure that you get in there. And there's a checklist of items and things that you need to turn in. For those of you who are planning to stay on campus, if you haven't turned in your immunization records, they won't assign you a room until we have those. And that doesn't pertain to COVID, but just your regular immunization records that you would have gotten when you were brought into this world before you could attend public schools. So make sure that we have that, as well as your room reservation form. You can pay that from your application portal. That's very, very important. Also, as you can see, there's an enrollment deposit that Concord does require, which is also $50. That option to pay for that is also in your application portal as well. For a student who has paid their enrollment deposit, their application portal will look like this, and we actually have our orientation dates. It's very important that you sign up for orientation because that's how you get your classes set up for fall 2021. So just pick one of the dates. We are limiting those to a certain amount of families for each date. So if you have any summer vacations planned, hey, you may want to go ahead and sign up and get lock in your date. But make sure, once again, that enrollment deposit is paid, and also don't forget to turn in the housing deposit. And we are on some social networking sites, so whichever platforms and mediums you use, feel free to like us, get connected, join up with us. Our newest one is TikTok, and our mascot is on there doing some pretty entertaining things, I must say. So definitely see what's going on with us there, and we'll keep you in the know. This is the staff here at Concord. Of course, you've had the opportunity to meet with me today and talk to me and Maisie. We all work as a team. We have territories, but we're not territorial. So don't hesitate to contact any of us if you have any questions about anything, and we're more than happy to help you out with that. And with that being said, I would like to open up the floor for questions. I do see that there is a question from someone about, does Concord offer opportunities for students to work on campus, such as work study? Absolutely, we certainly do. On your FAFSA, it'll let you know if you qualify for work study. And if you do, you can apply for jobs. We post them on collegecentral.com/Concord. And all of the university opportunities for work will be posted there. That updates throughout the summer. So if you're coming this fall, keep an eye on it. You can apply for as many jobs as you want. If you don't qualify for work study, you can still get a job on campus. The same process works for you in terms of applying. You just go to that website. I mentioned collegecentral.com/Concord, and then we can evaluate your application from there and go from there in terms of assigning you some work study on campus. So, and there, anywhere you go to college, if you're a work study student, you're limited to 20 hours per week. So I'm gonna type that in the chat there. What is the process of starting a new club on campus? Do students need to have a certain number of members to start the club? There is not necessarily a minimum number of members to start a club that I know of, but the process is pretty simple, actually. All you have to do is go to the student activities director, who's the manager also of the student activities building, and he can give you some paperwork to fill out, and he'll talk to you about that process. But it is very, very, very easy to do. And sometimes we've had club athletic programs, club lacrosse. We've had some local Greek organizations to start on campus. So it's really cool to see some of the clubs that people have. I mean, comic books clubs. So is there a health center on campus for students who have minor illnesses or injuries? Also, how far is the nearest hospital in the event of serious injury? Very, very good question. Concord does have a health center on campus, and we actually have a nurse and a PA whose full-time job is to work here at Concord University, and there is no copay for the students. So if there is a minor illness or injury, just like you said, or acute illness or injury, absolutely come to the health center. It's only for students, so faculty and staff don't even use it. And this is our second year of that, and it's worked out very well for the university. We're glad to have that on campus. As far as the nearest hospital, that's in the town of Princeton, which is about 6 miles away. It's about a 10-minute, the town of Princeton is about a 10-minute drive from campus. So God forbid, we hope that nothing ever comes to the position where you need to visit the hospital. But in the event that you do, we do have a hospital very nearby in Princeton. And Princeton's a town I was referring to a little bit earlier. That's where all the major shopping places and eating places are located. So, but very good question.
So I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat, but I do want to throw out some questions that we've heard from students throughout this event. Oh, there's another question in the chat. Does Concord offer a shuttle service for students to visit the hospital?
Yes, if there's a variety of ways to make it out to the hospital, or if we have a public transit that runs on campus, but if you're at the time that the transit may be running, may not be conducive to when that particular time that you need to visit the hospital. So we have several people in student affairs, whether it's someone in housing, your RAs, your RDs, those are resident assistants and residential directors, or someone in student affairs overall. Someone can definitely get you to the hospital if need be. And that's one of the things that's what they're there for. So if you need to go, we'll make sure you get there. But we hope you don't have to.
Great, thank you so much. Another question that we've heard from students throughout this event is, are there counseling services available at your institution for students? Absolutely.
So we do offer counseling, whether it's for if you need academic counseling. All of our professors, their two primary responsibilities are to teach and advise. So you have to meet with them every semester to make sure that you sign up for the correct classes for the next semester so that you take all, the classes you need to graduate and you get out in a timely manner. In terms of maybe it's social or personal, or maybe you're going through something at home or something personal, you really need some assistance there. We absolutely have some assistance for that as well. In our student support services, we have people there that you can talk to, and they are very, very good about that. We also have some other people on campus as well whose sole responsibility is to counsel students, and they actually have degrees in that and have over 20-30 years of experience in that. So there's a lot of help here for students academically and socially. I think what we just try to encourage students to do is don't be afraid to ask if you do need help in any way, shape, or form. That's usually the problem, is just not asking.
All right. Thank you so much for providing those wonderful resources. Another question that we would have from students is, if during orientation, that is usually when students create their schedule, but if they would like to add or drop classes, will they have the opportunity to do so?
Yes, you can add or drop your class. And all you have to do is go to your academic advisor or visit the registrar's office and tell them what you need to do. And that schedule can be amended. A lot of times after a schedule has been made through orientation, sometimes we didn't know about a class that you already had, maybe from dual enrollment, and then we finally get the transcript in. So yes, we can do that. Or if you just, you decide, oh man, you know what, I don't want to major in that program anymore, I really think I want to do this, we can help accommodate that. The thing is, I will say that first year or that first semester, usually for the most part, is going to be a lot of general studies classes that most people have to have, well, all people have to complete, no matter what your major is. So usually, for the most part, we don't run into that much on the first semester, but there are situations where we do, and we'll make sure that we get that taken care of. So it's a pretty simple, easy fix.
Great, thank you. And another question is, where do students buy their textbooks?
Most students buy their textbooks, or a lot of them buy them from the campus store on campus, or the bookstore. And they do rent books, and they also price match with Amazon and Chegg. So I always encourage students to definitely check out those options. Those weren't options when I was a student here, but they do have some very affordable options in the campus store. And you don't have to know, well, I should say all you have to know is your class schedule, and your class schedule will have your professors on there. They'll know just by looking at your schedule what book to go and get for you.
Great, thank you so much. I don't know if you touched on this or not, but I know you touched on activities, but what type of recreational activities are available for students at Concord?
Intramural sports, of course, that's definitely one of the ones I remember when I was a student that I definitely took advantage of. My athletic skills weren't maybe up to par enough to do varsity athletics here, but I definitely had a lot of fun with intramural sports. In the area, there's you have Pipestem State Park. Activities that you want to do. Glade Springs is closed. Pinnacle, the Overlook, Pinnacle Rock. I can't even get it out here, but a lot of students go down to the Pinnacle Overlook to also kind of just take a short little hike and sightsee a little bit. Brush Creek Falls is also another place that's very, very close to campus. A lot of students like to visit. If you're into fishing, also one of my college buddies who also went to high school would do a lot of fishing in the area. That was one of his hobbies. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity. And I think in West Virginia overall, it does kind of lend itself to outdoor recreational opportunities. And so a lot of that is very close by. Horseback riding, whatever it is that you're into, you name it, we probably have it very close by.
Great, thank you so much. I think those are the questions that I have. Before we go to close, is there anything you'd like to add?
Not that I can think of. I guess one of the things I always do tell most students is wherever you're looking to go to school, definitely visit the campus is very important. Stepping foot on campus, there's really nothing that can replace that. And just be sure to you take a very good, solid look at your financial aid and make sure that you know what you have to pay out of your pocket once all is said and done. Um, and those two things I think can really help you in terms of a college decision, because you want to go somewhere where you're going to be successful and you'll fit in. There are a lot of great colleges in West Virginia and across the country. Just have to find the one that's a good fit for you, and so that you become successful. That's pretty much all I would have to say. I don't know if Maisie has anything to add, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think if I had any advice to add, it's just making sure that you're visiting, any school that you're looking into, but also just to kind of fill out the campus, as well as filling out, other students, talk to students. If you have, friends on social media that go to a certain college, ask them about it. They are going to know a lot more of current things that are going on because they're living in it. But also getting involved on campus is going to be really important. So making sure that you find somewhere that has an opportunity for you to either create something that you're passionate about, like a club or an organization, or somewhere that you will feel at peace with joining those clubs and organizations as well. So.
Thank you so much for that great advice. And with that, we would like to thank the team from Concord University for joining the College Foundation of West Virginia during College Commons Week. Please reach out to them with any questions you may have. And thank you to those who have logged on to participate in this webinar series. If we can be of any further assistance, please reach out to us at cfwb.com. Thank you so much and have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yes.